Most of us didn't have transportation. If we did, those who did have transportation, it was horse and buggy or horse and wagon or mule and wagon. Most of the folks walked wherever you needed to go, even if it was 5 miles out of town and you needed to come into Madison, you would walk. I remember during my years of growing up, leaving home, and it was usually on Saturdays when people who lived in the rural areas would come in to buy groceries or clothing, whatever they needed. But you always started walking and would pray that somebody who had a truck or car would come along before you got too far along and offer to give you a ride. And many times that happened. We would be on our way into Madison, and somebody would pass that knew us and would ask if we wanted a ride. And often that was the way we got home. Mr. Spears had a taxi service, and so we were able to get the taxi and put the groceries in to go home. For us younger kids, most of us, there wasn't a taxi for us because we didn't have money to pay the taxi driver, but we just walked. And I think perhaps in that way it caused us to be even healthier then too. But you ask about the stores in Madison. I think we probably had 2 main grocery stores that I can remember. A&P and Colonial were the 2 grocery stores. There was a separate store that was referred to at that time as the flour store. And basically they sold there large bags of flour, a meal, and I think they even had maybe a meat section. Not the kind of meat that you would find in the markets today, but slabs of what we call fatback, different parts of the hog. That, as I remember it, I think that store was in the building where probably the Bank of Madison is now. It was somewhere in that area. There were 2 auto stores in Madison. One was in the area where the police station is now, and the other one was down, trying to remember who's in that building now. South Main Street across from the Chop House is where the other auto store was. And Mr. Pryor was the owner of that store. I remember it because that's where my grandmother purchased my first bicycle. And I think that bicycle probably cost, it was a large bicycle, but it cost about $45 or $49, I believe. I still have the receipts at home where my grandmother paid for it, sometimes $2 or $5 a week or whatever a month, until she got it paid for.